I wanted to get you on during the NBA Finals because you come on after the NBA Finals, and I mean, you're the post game show, and that's got to be a nice little adrenaline rush for you. And it would have been nice to get a 7th game out of that series, but
actually, it wasn't. It was better to get it in 6 because it meant we had Father's Day off. So we were openly rooting for Golden State for life purposes, nothing against Boston, but
right.
Thrilled to have a Sunday night where I was actually down at the beach. And so being able to stay through the night and just have a Father's Day and hang out, that was great.
That's nice.
It was. And
yeah,
the adrenaline rush is the correct way to frame it, because like you, me, everyone consuming this, we all love Inside the NBA. Okay. So I get that when that show ends, that it's a bummer for everybody, because it's a blast. It's just the rarest of things, the combination of personalities and truly not giving a shit that Charles and that whole group has, with Ernie, just the maestro, making it all work. When it ends, I'm sad. Our show isn't that. Obviously, we can't try to be that. But I think what we've created, particularly in a Game 6 type of deal, is here comes Steve Kerr, here comes Jordan Poole, and here comes Stephen Curry, who, by the way, Jimmy, he's done the on-court interview. He owes us nothing. Right. No star has been kinder to our show than Steph. And I'm always truly grateful for that, because he could just say, no, I'm good. I talked to Lisa Salters, I'm set. He always comes on with us. And the thing that when I'm done doing this and I really reflect on the coolest part of this gig, having the opportunity to talk to the coach or the athlete still literally in the arena, sweat and champagne mixed on their bodies, still haven't taken the jersey off, to ask Steph Curry, what are they going to say now? What are you going to say now? That's a fun spot to be, because you get I think you get the first chance they've had to kind of think about it and be honest about what, our job is all some version of, you're not supposed to ask, how does it feel? But that's really all you want to know. You're not supposed to ask, what does it mean? But you really want to know, what does it mean? So you're just trying to come up with a clever way to say this one. It seemed like there was a lot in it, man. What was all that hit you? I love those spots. And I'm really, really grateful that that's what we get to do.
It's weird because he's obviously this mega huge superstar, but I feel like Steph actually doesn't get enough credit for being such a good guy. I mean, that is a guy where if you can't root for that guy, I mean, obviously if you're a Celtics fan, I get it. But like, if you're a sports fan who can't root for Steph Curry, there's something wrong with you. I mean, that is as likable as a player in all of sports, I think.
I totally agree. And Steve and I have said as much on our podcast, like people like him, Giannis, I don't know what it is. The NBA has its own subset of fans that seem to root against players and teams more than they root for players and teams, which I find really strange. And if you're anti-Steph, what do you like? What do you covet? What's your sweet tooth for if it's not for that?
Right.
And just through the years, I got to tell you that nobody's been just. Steve Kerr always tells me he's a better human. He's one of the best players we've ever seen. He's a better human. And years ago, Jimmy, I did a thing on my daughter's birthday, and we got to the end of an interview with him, and I was trying to let him go.
Right.
And he's like, no, hold on. I wanted to say that thing you did about your daughter. And it was one big thing about my daughter. And I remember that. And he stopped to talk to me about that. The fact that he consumed it, it's always nice to know that something you do that's personal about life finds its way to whoever. Yeah. But the fact that it resonated with him, and that in this moment, after they had just beaten Houston and he was incredible, he wanted to talk about that. And the other night after the Game 4 performance, he's like, hey man, that US Open, because we wanted to talk about golf, because the last time he was on, I said, hey, next week, if you're bored during the day, we got the PGA on. He's like, I'll be watching. So he's trying to give me a pop for the US Open. I'm like, Steph, that's a different network, bro. I'm going to be watching it with you, But he he's thinking in ways that I don't think many superstars in that moment think. And it's rare, and I appreciate that. It's
interesting to me to hear you say that it still surprises you when someone's consuming your content, because one, you're one of the most, popular and likable sports media personalities, and the real estate you have on ESPN at 11 o'clock, give or take an hour, depending on what's going on. It's because I feel that way, but I'm, nobody. To hear you say it is interesting to me. So
but I think that's I guess really what it is, Jimmy, is how does anyone consume anything now? Right. Are they sitting there watching it, or is it something that gets tweeted out? And I've said this a million times about James Corden, that I don't know how often I've been sitting in front of my television when his show came on and watched his show, but I've seen him sing in the car with a lot of people. And so the way things get consumed now, maybe it was on Twitter and Stanford Steve tweeted it out or something. I mean, right. The thing I did about my dog, Otis, in a day, there were however many million people had seen that. You just don't know how what you do. It's like the LeBron in the dust. It gets thrown up, and it gets wherever it gets blown, and wherever it lands, it lands. You just don't really know how and when people are actually kind of actively consuming anything. So I guess that's why anymore the show's important, but those things that find people in other spaces are equally as important, I guess.